on, Joey. Come on. Good boy. Oh, he's hot. Oh, you're a hot dog. Aren't you, darling? You don't know what to do with yourself. No, don't eat that. Joey's very attracted to boggy water, basically. Anything that's slightly off, green looking. He'll drink from dirty puddles. So, of course, that stagnant water lying in the bottom of that window box is going to attract Joey. Look, Joey. Oh, see ya. Right. Let's get the kit for the job in hand. We need secateurs, gloves. How many times have you started a gardening job excitedly without any gloves on and then regretted it because your hands feel really odd afterwards? And also they say if you're handling compost you should wear gloves and things. Yeah, I've had a few thorns and prickles and weird rashes and whatnot from doing all that kind of stuff. So yeah, gloves are my new friend. I have about 3 pairs. I get a bit sweaty, to be honest. Anyway, right, so let's go round to what I'm going to now call Cordyline Corner. I'll explain why. So if you're looking face on, you've got the hover house, which again I've explained in a previous episode about why it's called the hover house, but essentially it's a summer house. It's on an angle in the long lawn to try and break up that kind of rectangle thing that goes on in gardens, narrow gardens. And on the left hand side is sheltered from the sun. I've put a clematis, a winter flowering clematis up there. It really doesn't like the sun. I've tried it in the sun. You'd think, wouldn't you? Sunshine, but no. So anyway, that's doing its thing. But on the right hand side, I've created a small triangle bed, which kind of juts out from the side of the summer house. And in it, I've got a beautiful thing called Mighty Phil, which has a better name in Latin, obviously, but I can't pronounce it and can't remember it, so that's that. But Phil basically comes to life every year and has these brilliant feather duster style stalks, which eventually, very sort of unmasculine for a name like that, sort of come very flamboyantly out of the top of these big feathery. But Joey, why does he like just standing on stuff? Like getting up tall? Do you want to come in for a cuddle? Yeah? Oh dear. No, you can't have my gloves. Okay, so we've got Mighty Phil, which has nice pink blooms in a few weeks' time. Next to that is the most magnificent 2-foot tall rhubarb plant. Now, rhubarb, apparently, according to the instructions and my mum, you can't harvest it or use it in the first 2 years it grows. So I'm just letting it do its thing. I'm anticipating beautiful rhubarb crumble in January, February, because I'll have had it 2 years by then. But for now, it's just absolutely loving it. It is shaded, all of that little triangle bed is shaded by the wisteria, which I have no idea how old it is, but it is magnificent. Now, I used to have wisteria. Oh, I was a bit snippy with it. I was a bit, to get in there in January, February time. I would cut it hard back hard, whatever you call it, but right down basically to, about a metre off the ground. And then it would absolutely rampantly run up whatever it was trained against and grow again the following summer. But I wanted to train it into a tree. Now, I think that's a bit ambitious, to be honest, to have a wisteria tree. I had Googled it, I had looked for it, and it is possible, but I don't think it's naturally predisposed to being a tree, this thing, no matter how much I sort of cut it back. So what I found was a thing called a tuteur, which is a 2 metre high flute-shaped frame, which I then placed over the top of the trunk, and then the following summer trained the wisteria up through its various laddery type frame options. It's cast iron, it's black cast iron flute, it's very heavy. It's pegged into the ground with some serious metal pegs so it doesn't fall over. And in fact, I don't think it would go anywhere now anyway, because the wisteria is really holding on to it. You know what wisteria does? It kind of grabs around something, and before you know it, it's lifted a cast iron or metal fence out of the ground just because it's so strong. And what I followed Mike next door's method of just not touching it, of not cutting it back, of not dealing with it, because he's got a lovely one next door. Mike's wisteria bush is very impressive, I have to say. It grows all over the top of their sort of big shed in the back of the garden. It looks really magnificent. Anyway, so I've left it, and it's just kept on growing. It's growing over the top of the summer house. It's providing a bit of shade on the sort of porch area of the summer house. And it was so rewarding this spring to see lots and lots of these beautiful dangling, almost chandelier type petals in white. Smelt gorgeous. And I also spotted a few purple ones. I've never seen a combo like that. I've seen a lot of people have them on the fronts of their houses. They're just so different and really stand out. They don't flower for a very long time, but when they do, they're gorgeous. And a lot of people have purple. This is white, but now it's showing signs of purple, so I don't quite know why it would be changing its colour. Hopefully that'll be a thing, because the purple's really pleasing. Anyway, back to why this is called, from now on, the Cordyline corner. Between you and me, my husband saw a cordyline in the garden centre. Now, a cordyline is, in fact, let's go and have a look at it. A cordyline is a burgundy spear-shaped palm type deal. Red Star is its name, this one. £9. Blimey. It's very pretty. It's like a waterfall. It shoots up, and then a waterfall of palmy sort of... it doesn't flower, it doesn't do anything other than look very fine. And it's burgundy, and it's got this delicious sort of red pinstripe down all the way down the back, or piping if you like, of red, reddy orange. So it's got a nice colour to it, and it looks great with green, of which we have a lot. So he brought it home and went, hey, let's put this in the ground. And you know what, I realised that I'm actually a bit of a snob when it comes to being a bit more creative than that. And you see a lot of these as a centerpiece in maybe a municipal bed or roundabout. You might see them surrounded by a circle of brightly coloured geraniums, surrounded by another circle of white bedding plants. And they're great because they don't need any maintenance, so I understand why you might use them, and they've got height, and it does offer a sort of structural variance, you know, in what you're planting. So not everything is so down on the ground, it's really quite upright. But I don't want to make this a centerpiece at all. But I think what can happen is if I put it in just behind the rhubarb and next to Mighty Phil, it will really complement those plants, lift them, and what you'll have, or what I'll have, yeah, I will have, is a nice depth of vision, depth of field, I think that's the right word. So that when you walk past the wisteria, your eye is actually drawn behind it, not just to the green of the rhubarb and the pink of the Mighty Phil, but also this sort of purple, burgundy, spiky plant, which offers a bit of difference, I think, in a garden. Everything's very rounded, isn't it, in planting, and green and rounded. But if you can offer a bit of a spike, that adds interest. So, Cordyline corner, here we come. Before I drown the thing, let's just check that it needs water, doesn't need water. Here we go. I'm reading the label now. Beautiful picture on the front. Turn it over. It's the Cordyline Red Star. Partial sun. Tick. Dig a hole slightly deeper and wider than the root ball. Remove from pot, position plant, replace soil around root ball, firm in and water well. Okay, so we're going to do that, but I'm not going to water the hole first. Just don't think it needs it. It's quite damp around here anyway. And also, I'm guessing this is a hot climate plant that doesn't deserve too much attention on the watering. Tick. So I've got my hole ready. I'm just, it's quite easy to remove. I'm going to get rid of this label because once it's in, you kind of don't need that. Might keep it in the shed just for a bit of reference if I get a bit lost or forget what it needs if it's got an issue. Okay, so There you go, Cordyline. Dug the hole already. The slug heading for the hedge there, lovely. Yeah, I think it's difficult to tell, isn't it? Should it go up a bit more? No, I'm going to keep it low. The rhubarb leaves are so enormous. They are wonderful. I mean, it's like a plant that it should be in Day of the Triffids or something. It's got kind of sci-fi element to it. It's very pleasing and grows very quickly. So, putting a bit of soil in, backfilling around the hole, that's the professional term. And there's a bit of soil in the wheelbarrow, obviously, from where it came out. I'm just going to put a bit more on top. Doesn't need much. It's nice soil this, actually. Or loam, as we might say. Nice loam. Give it some nice loam. Oh yeah, that looks really nice. Really nice. I'm sorry I was a snob about it. I really am. And that's just being mean to my very gorgeous and generous husband, who thought of buying it because he thought it would look good. I didn't share my snobbery with him, obviously. I went, oh, that's nice. That'll look really good behind that other plant so we can't really see it very well. No, but actually that does look really nice. Pleased with that. Oh, now it needs to stand up straight, doesn't it? Or else it'll affect my OCD levels. The straightness. I straighten other people's paintings in their houses. It's kind of rude, isn't it? But I can't relax unless they're straightened. Same with my plants, they've got to be upright as much as they can. Okay. Right, let's get this cordyline watered and then call it a day. Give the rhubarb a little drink while I'm here. Bit of a water and we're sorted in Cordyline Corner.